Yo, 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 what's up? Good morning, good morning. Good morning, PG King, and good morning, Apukas. I hope you both had a nice Easter break. So, I've been sick, haven't streamed or worked on the game for a while. So I guess we're gonna start by getting into it again. And if I remember correctly, we were in the process of adding bone generation to our creature graphs. I can actually see here that we were in the process of creating a rigid body node, but it doesn't really work like this. You can't just create a component and then add it. So we're probably going to do it the same way we do set... where do we have it? We're probably going to do it the same way we do set collider editor node. And that is, we take a game object and we output a game object. So let's rework this one a bit. Let me just double check where this issue comes from. Yeah, I think it's an... dynamic... No. Rigid body generator runtime. So this one we're gonna have to fix a little bit, I suppose. PG King, I'm doing good. Still a little bit sick, but we're gonna power through today. Hopefully do some productive stuff. How about you? I hope this one is the issue. Let's start by saving. And... yeah, okay. We have an issue here, and I'm pretty sure it's the... let's just try and do... this and save. Oh, it's actually, yeah, soft body editor node as well. I just want to see if we still have something that works like this. Yeah, this works. Okay, great. So first we're gonna finish up rigid body generator editor node, but we're gonna rename it a bit. We're gonna change it to add rigid body. We're gonna restructure it just like this one, or set. Is set actually what I want? Yeah, we're gonna call it set rigid body, and then we generate the rigid body. PG King doing good. Sickness seems to have gone away here. Oh, nice. It has stayed quite a long time, not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm having something similar actually. It's been a long time since I've been sick for this long. It sucks. And thank you so much for the Prime. I appreciate it, Apukas, oh crap, get better soon. I'm trying. I'm also getting on the brink of getting sick. A few days was warm and now started to be really cold and windy. I got sweaty while working out outside. Hopefully it doesn't get worse than that. PG King, I realized my Prime ran out when ads started rolling out. Yeah, that's probably, or that's a pretty good indicator, I would say. But okay, I really want to finish this today, because what I'm looking forward to is to be able to generate... I really want to see when we generate like 20 different blobs of different sizes and with soft bodies working. I think it will look pretty damn cool. So let me just open up the task as well. I think we're gonna add a rigid body node and then we're gonna work on the soft body node, I think. Oh, I just remember. Yeah. Okay, I remember where we left off as well. So the soft body node is actually going to include a lot of calculations this time around. Or it's going to be quite broad. In best case scenario, I would like to like separate the creation of the separate bones to its own node, so we can do some procedural armature building in the future. But for now, we're pretty much just gonna pack it all into the soft body node. Where do we have it? Here, add soft body. So like, we're gonna send in a vertex list and a game object, and then we're gonna process this vertex list and create bones for all of it, and like joints and all of that. But okay, let me just open up. I'm gonna open up the issue here. Graph. And did I already have soft body open? Yes. Oh fuck, I haven't added anything here for quite a while, but that's okay. And here I want to add create, add, or set rigid body. No. Okay, something like that. Yo, what's up, Harukanen? Good morning, good morning. Long time no see. Okay, so let's start with this one. Yeah, first of all, I'm going to start with renaming it. And we're gonna have to restructure this because this is way more than visual stuff. And we had it at generators initially, but we're gonna add it to setters. And then we're going to rename it. Okay. Okay. Everything is gonna look pretty much like it does, but yeah, we have the mass here. But I want to add one more. What's up with the... there we go. game object, and then what did I call strings? Something like that, and then we changed this one as well. Wonder if we want to do creature generation strings. Would like to have a space in the display name here, actually. Yes. But we want to change this one to something like this. Okay, let's see how this one looks. Yeah, I think interpolate, detection mode, and constraints, all of these are going to be decided in the graph setup, while mass is going to be generated. Set collider. I don't know what the default cube weight is. 10. Yeah, let's do something like 8 and 12 for now. Okay, so the idea here is that we're finally going to be able to remove creature spawner, generate instance. We're finally going to remove where did I put it? Yeah, this temporary solution here. Eventually I want to remove this one as well. Animate entity. All of this, actually. All of this is going to be moved to the graph system eventually. Okay, as for the editor node, I think this is it. And rigid body runtime node. Oh, one sec. I want to rename this one. Okay, output count is going to be 1. We don't want subdivisional rounding here. We definitely want to be able to send in some information. I wonder if I want to package it. Rigid body data. Yeah, maybe. Not mass, though. That's the problem. So I think we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna remove this one. And keep it like this. And the constructor here is gonna take a rigid body data. You know what? Can output. We're just gonna have one output, and it's gonna be type game object. No. That's a bad. So what we want to do here is game object input game object is equal to null, and then we want to get input value. Runtime node. Let's just copy this one. So that's what we want to do. We might as well. And then we also want to get, I think, yeah, let's put them here. So we're gonna have float mass. And then we want to do a try get input 1 mass return false. We don't care about anything here. Yeah, value is gonna be game object. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to create this rigid body. Rigid body. Nah, not get. Well, you know what? That's actually what we need to do. Then we do if it's equal to null, then we add it. And then we start filling it up with values. So it's new rigid body mass is equal to mass. Use gravity. And we get some other fill. Interpolation, collision. And I think we have one constraints as well. There we go. Pretty simple node. So output 1 value, inputs two inputs. It outputs a game object. When we generate the value, we get the input game object, we get the input float, we try and get a rigid body if it already exists, which, if I set it up correctly, it should already be there. Oh, it should not be there, so this should always be true. Then we add the rigid body, set the mass, and we set these things. Set the cache, stuff like that. Yo, what's up, Little Miss Murder? Long time no see. Hope you've been good. Okay, so when we do runtime node, yes, but this one, isn't it get option? Okay, we want to do it like that. So yeah, that's a bad fill. Something like this, but we want to do it for so it's gonna be, yeah, actually let's take these. And then we're going to do a lot of options. Use gravity internal name. Little Miss Murder, I see your new rigid body is equal to null test. Use the coalescing constructor, new rigid body, new whatever. Is semantically equivalent and makes your code neater and easier to read. Let's take a look. So we're talking about add rigid body runtime node, and we're talking about this one right here. I'm always a little bit afraid when working with coalescing constructors and null conditionals and stuff like that when it comes to Unity objects. I think we have read. Yeah, I think we actually went down this road, not with this type of assignments, but with null conditionals. I mean, it's old, but so I'm a little bit afraid of doing this stuff. like, this is not a C# problem, this is more a Unity problem, how Unity works with like Unity engine objects and stuff like that. This is mostly not an issue unless, like, I never remember the setting, but you have settings for when reloading the scene if you want to reload it and stuff like that, and null conditionals and this stuff like can lead to dangling pointers or dangling references, I think. So I do think we want to be like cautious with using it. Yeah, what's up, most? It's going pretty good. How about you? I'm still battling some cold, however, but other than that, it's good. Yeah, this was my experience as well, unfortunately. Because something I had sprinkled throughout my code base, which I'm a big fan of, is, like, especially with singletons in my case, is this. Isn't it? I think it's this. What is it called? Yeah. But unfortunately we couldn't use it because of the implementation of Unity objects. But yeah, that's how it is. Let's see. Every time I try to use null somewhere with C# I have to add nullable true. I have no idea what that is about. Rigid body data. What kind of completion is this? There we go. And then we want to know return new. Okay, add. Oh yeah, we want to get the cashless as well. Which we could probably Little Miss Murder, I would replace that whole code block with coalescing expression. Are we talking about this one or the previous one? Do we? That's not what we want. We want runtime. And then we want to remove abstract here. Input count. Fuck, it's been a while since mesh runtime node. Input count and is compatible with connection. Game object and float. Yeah, like honestly, I would love to be able to do it like that. So I guess we would have how the hell would... Yes, we would have this right after this one, right? But this. It's unfortunate. Generate dynamic mesh. This one we remove. And here we go. I think this is the rigid body runtime node we want to have. I think we can try this one now. So what do we have for our blobs here? This one should be okay now, right? Add rigid body runtime node. It most or my ID gives me nasty warnings. I better avoid those warnings. Oh, did I screw this one up? Okay, let's see what happened with this one. Yeah, here we go. Add node, add rigid body editor node. Let's put this one in here. And use gravity, interpolate. Yes, let's do it like this. Save, no errors, that's good. Let's see if we can generate some blobs with rigid bodies this time around. And they should have a mass, a random mass between 8 and 12. Okay, we get an error. Okay, I want to see if it's a problem. If the new node is the problem or if there's something else. I think we should be able to just do this, honestly. We do get rigid bodies for these. That's pretty weird. Do we get rigid body? Yeah, because animate entity. Okay, I get it. Animate entity requires it. But okay. This new node is the issue. So what exactly is the issue? Oh, okay. We do get rigid bodies on these. 10, 9. That's beautiful. But they don't spawn. Oh, actually, they spawn. Okay. Use gravity is false. It's kinematic. We don't have any of these rules set here. Necessary assignment. Okay, yeah. I wonder if creature... Let's take a look at this error again. Okay, we don't get an error. But we do not... Okay, this is pretty cool, actually. But we do not get the... We don't transfer the correct values. We do transfer mass, though. Where did I screw up? This rigid body data, rigid body data. It's almost like we're not getting these values. Oh, it should be okay. I know. I'm pretty sure I know. So the problem is something I keep forgetting sometimes. I should learn that we need to serialize this one if we want to store it in our scriptable object. So this should hopefully fix it. Yeah, and 10. Okay, that's a good start. So now we have rigid bodies through the graph. That's great. Okay, so let's try and implement the soft body node this time around. This one is probably going to be the most complicated node, or the most... definitely the biggest node, I would say. I just want to see... Is it blob test? Yes. So we have a rigid body here, configurable joints. Like there's going to be a lot of settings here. Okay. Blob test. Here we go. So pretty much all of this we want to convert, or we want to take and put in our soft body node. We have add soft body editor node, and but we don't have an add soft body runtime node yet. Okay. Okay, so how do we want to structure this? We're probably going to make it so that for now we're going to make it a little bit basic and mash a lot of inputs together, or a lot of values together. So with this setup we have here, which is, it gives an okay result if I remember correctly. Where do we have it here? At least in this fashion. Like doing this, it looks pretty good, but running into it looks, I mean, it's okay. We're gonna experiment a bit with it, but the important part is, what should our editor node take? What input? What should we randomize? And if we check our placeholder here, or not placeholder, but our experiment, we can see that a lot of the different spring values and stuff like that are, okay, should not have added that comment. In fact, this one, like the cube one, looks so good, I would say. I really want to make a cube blob eventually. So let's open Notepad. So if we take a look at the configurable joints in this setup, we can see here that a lot of these settings are the same. So linear limit spring, angular X limit spring, angular Y Z limit spring, X drive, Y drive, Z drive. They all share the same values. Didn't I write down in, is it in test? I guess it's this we want to set, all of these things, so that's good. We want to find a connected body RB. Here I'm wondering if we should implement the node in such a way that we don't have to feed it the correct input. Instead, we search for it, like get component in parent or something like that. Yeah, we're gonna keep it simple. Eventually we probably want to input this to the node, because when we have some more complicated procedural creatures, we probably want to feed it some very specific rigid body, or if, yeah, there's a lot of scenarios, but let's keep it simple this time around. Axis and secondary axis we're just gonna put, so we don't need this as input. Oh, actually, bone, this is something I want as input, definitely. So let's add that to the notes. The bone rigid body mass should be input. Bone colliders should also be inputs, I think. I don't know about the center though. No, the center we're gonna base on. So it's only got the radius that is gonna be input, and then we just calculate it like this. Connected body we're gonna search for. Axis we're gonna set. Secondary axis we're gonna set. These we're just gonna set. All of this and this is gonna be inputs. This as well, I think. So what I'm leaning towards is to just have, yeah, spring, damper, and bounciness as inputs. Yeah, I think that's it. So we want bone, joint, spring as input. We want bone, joint, damper as input. And we want bone, joint, bounciness as input. I think that's it. So that's like 5 inputs to the soft body node. A little Miss Murder, you can set bone, joint, angular XYZ motion in one expression. Ooh, that would be nice. So we're talking about this one here. Maybe we can set this one as well. Configurable joint. API, please. What? Base class for all joints. Can we get the Little Murder, can you reuse the same spring/drive instances? Maybe we can. I think they are only... I wonder if they are just a struct. Or they were, at least. Yeah, so it should be okay. But can we actually set the same XYZ motion here? We can try. I think this is a struct as well. Let's quit this and jump to add soft body editor node. So what do we have here? We want to take a game object, we want to take a vertex list. We don't care about rigid body, we don't care about all of these. We're gonna create them. But we want to take a lot of we want to take 5 float inputs, I think. Mass, radius, spring, damper, bounciness. So joint mass and joint, I'm gonna call this joint radius, internal name. Do I want to add joint bounciness? Little Miss Murder does build. Return the context. If so, you can change those port defines. What are we talking about? I appreciate a code reviewer. On define ports. Build. Does build return the context? If so, change those port defines. We get a I port back, so not a I port builder, unfortunately. Okay. Float, and then we want to do joint mass internal name, display name, and then I would love to see if we can get a correct joint radius. Yeah, there we go. So we have joint mass, joint radius. I pair these because these are configurable joint related. This one is collider and this one is rigid body. Little Miss Murder, why are you overriding undefined options just to call the base method? Like this is this is a Unity library, like the graph toolkit, and this is like how they do it in their examples. And yeah, this one, like this is just leftover code if you're talking about this one. Uncommitted yet, so not reviewable. So this one, we copied this one from, what could it be? Yeah, set collider editor node where we have an option. We're not entirely, we don't know just yet if we're gonna add additional options here yet. So that's why we still have it hanging around. But I think this is good. We don't need to fetch anything here. So like everything we define here becomes Okay. Thank you. So when it comes to these nodes, we have options up here. So that's like options which we define in the node itself. That's not inputs. And then we have the inputs down here and output here. So if we take a look at the rigid body editor node, we can see here that we add some options here. Little Miss Murder, you should add a to-do because it adds an unnecessary stack frame in your final code. Yeah, before we commit it to the main, we're probably gonna look through it. Okay, let's see if we can implement this runtime node. And let's copy this one. Yeah, I probably want it with a small b, so I think let's have a big B for now. Okay, we're not gonna take any input here except for cashless. Also, it's gonna have a, what is it? Game object, vertex list, and then 5 options. So we're gonna go with 7, and we're just gonna return 1. Okay. Game object, vertex list. And then I guess we can do greater than 1 and less than 7. We check for float. We're gonna output a game object, so that's okay. And then we have generate output. And we want to get the game object, and then we want to get a lot of, let's rename this one to joint mass, joint radius. Would love for this one to be joint spring, joint damper, and finally what did we have? Bounciness. try and get this one. Oh, we actually have one more thing. Wonder if we have a vertex list here as well. Yeah, I probably want to return false here. I want to fail the generation if we don't get these. And okay, here we're gonna start to complicate things a lot. How exactly do I want to structure this one? We are gonna do... Like, I would like to do this in a little bit of a nicer fashion. I don't really know. Okay, so something we're gonna do is we're gonna take a skin mesh renderer, a mesh, and some bone setups. And we are gonna... Oh... Yeah, we're gonna skin it. So I had this idea that I wanted, like, the skin part of this one to be a separate node, but I think that's a little bit optimistic at this stage. I don't really know exactly how the constraints will look. So didn't I put this one in mesh skinner? Yeah, we started doing this one. I wonder if this is usable. And when we do the skinning as well, I would like to have... Okay, I would like to have some additional inputs as well. Skinning related, that is. I was using bone setup here. I guess we could pack this. So different skinning methods are gonna have different arguments, so we're probably gonna have to package this one into a... Yeah, I guess it's gonna have to be a base. We can do it with interfaces. And I guess the best option would be to do... Yeah, we just do a... We do a method that takes a... maybe it should take a bone and then calculates a weight based on it. Yeah, that's probably a nice way to do it. Okay, mesh skinner. Let's see if we can use this one. So instead of using skin mesh here, we create bones. I'm gonna skip this for now. Okay, so we want a method that takes a list of vertices, or just one vertex. Fuck, then we should probably put this one... Yeah, let's put it in creatures, actually. I think that's a better place to have it. Generation. Yeah, why not? Armature. And here I want we're just gonna call it bone. In a lot of ways, this is just gonna be like... Nah, it's not really gonna be a wrapper class. But okay, we're gonna have a bone class where we're gonna have methods for converting one vertex into a bone we can use. I want to have a... Armature. Yeah, we're probably going to have a static class called Armature as well. Yeah. Armature... Generator, maybe. We're winging it a bit today. Makes it feel a little bit more exciting. Yeah, and then we're probably gonna have some soft body folder here eventually as well. But we're gonna start with Armature Generator and... Yo, what's up, Derek? Data. Oh. Let's see if we can do with just these two. And I don't know yet if we want to keep this one around or if we're just going to put it like this and make it have a few nice functions. But let's start with the bones. Do we want to add... Yeah, let's add a armature here. And let's go through this experiment. Game object, I'm wondering if we do need this. Yeah, we need this game object here. But do we really need a reference to it? Ah, we do it here. Local position, parent, bind pose. But I guess bind pose we don't need. We can just return this. So in a lot of ways we're gonna have something similar to this. I just want to clean it up a little bit. And of course we want to make it serializable. pose. The question is how often we use bind pose. You just use it once, so I don't think there's a need to pre-calculate it now, so we might as well skip this one. Eventually we probably want to store this one in our scriptable object as well, which means that I want to have as few properties as possible here. Parent. I don't think we need parent either, actually. Depends on if this one is going to be the parent or not. In this case, I think it is. Let's see. Transform. Somewhere we should set. Yeah, parent. I think we're gonna skip parent as well. We have it. Parent. Does it look bad doing this here? Distance to vector. Maybe, why not? And let's just call this one bone. So we have game creatures generation data.armature.bone. PG King, does the tag serialized field just expose the variable in Unity, or that's just another thing entirely? It does expose it to in the editor. Honestly, I'm a little bit afraid to say too much because my knowledge of this isn't too great, but it also makes it possible to serialize the variable or the property when we store it in a scriptable object file. Let's do a quick, like this is a perfect moment to realize field in Unity. You know what? Let's do it like this. It's 2026 after all. See what it says. I use it here, or more specifically in all of my runtime nodes. We have, this is a bad example, but this one. Here we have it purely not to expose it in the editor, but to properly serialize it when we store it in a scriptable object file, right? So here, ensures Unity serializes that field. Okay, I think this bone structure here, or class actually. PG King, that's nice. Thanks for taking the time. No problem at all. Like, I should really take the time to go into more depth, like truly understanding this stuff. Right now it's a little like the Unity serialization system is a little bit of a black box to me. An amazing black box at that, but I really wish I had a bit more knowledge about it. But like, it's pretty down, like far down on my priority list right now. Okay, let's see here. I want to see create bones. We take a list of vertices, and then we create the bones. It's a little bit, this method in our test component does a few more things than we let on by the name. It does create the bones, but it also creates rigid bodies and stuff like that. I want to wait with the rigid bodies. I want to focus and the configurable joints. Basically what I want to focus on here is just this one. So I guess we're gonna do it like this. Bone. Bone game object, bone index transform. Okay, we don't want to take... Yeah, we create... Okay, I want to have a method in bone where we also... Or I want to have a constructor where we take a vertex, and an index, I guess. We're gonna get to that one. On index, vertices count. Yeah. And for this one, I think we want to create a bone game object. Let's just take these. Yeah, the problem is this one. That is supposed to be the parent, I think, yes. So to be able to create these bones, we do need a parent. Yeah, when we create it like this, that is. So let's do this. So we can create a bone given a game object and an index, or a parent, vertex, and index. And then we do, yeah, parent, transform point, parent, and then vertex normal, rotation. Now we have the game object. And then we do this. Yes, I want to introduce one more method. I want to do this one pretty much, a static method here. So we're gonna have a public static list of create bones. Yes. The only question I have, we went the other way around here. So we started at the last vertex. I'm just wondering if... I don't remember exactly why we did it, but I think it was just a quick fix to get the order of the bones in a way I wanted. I don't think we need to do this. So let's try without it. So we're gonna do it like this. That's good. Yeah, I think that's good. Anything else here? I don't think so. So this is our bone class. Here. Armature generator. So I also think this is a little bit... I would have hoped I would be able to make this a little bit cleaner, because I don't like that we need both a skin mesh renderer and a mesh here. But then again, my knowledge around this has some holes. So yeah, let's focus on the skinning only. So we're gonna take a list of bones, we're gonna take a mesh, we're gonna take a skin mesh renderer. We could also make it so that do I want, like, we could also skip this one and just fetch the mesh from this one, but then to be safe, I guess we would have to do this maybe. I don't know. You know what? Let's play a dangerous game and just use shared mesh. Okay. So, public static void skin mesh. Skinned mesh renderer. Don't help me now. I wanna skin mesh renderer, and then I don't want to take a list of bones here, or I guess eventually we want to. Oh yeah, let's do it like this: list bones. And then we create a method like this as well, where we take a list of vertex vertices. Everything we do here is list bone bones create bones, and then we call this one. But okay. Mesh is equal to shared mesh. This one we don't care about. These two we need to create. I'm wondering about... I wonder if we can make something nice where we take this information and we put it in our bone struct. Make it a little bit more coherent and structured. But bone weight is a pretty nice struct. It handles a lot of things for us. And we're also pretty insane here currently. We're gonna have to add some customizability here. Because what this one says is that we pretty much, like, no matter how many bones we send in, we're gonna skin, or we're gonna pair, like every vertex is gonna be affected by every bone, and that is, yeah, that's not a good way to do it. That's gonna be way too costly. But good enough for now. Like, the idea is also, when we're working with soft bodies like this, we're gonna try and optimize it eventually. Like, we only want the soft bodies to be active while visible and close enough to the camera. But that is still not enough for allowing for every bone to affect every vertex. But let's see here. Yeah, but let's do this. Then we go through each vertex. We find closest, or we calculate distance to every vertex. We sort them by distance, and then we calculate the weight here. The weight here I want to calculate. I want to be able to calculate it in a few different ways. I don't even know what we should call this one. Didn't we have... mesh skinner, yes. Probably gonna call it inverse square root and exponential. This being exponential. And this one being inverse square root. This weight scale we're probably gonna skip. Do I want to have it in this? Yeah, maybe we should. So public interface skin method. And we just want every class that implements this interface to do have a method that returns a float and calculate weight based on distance, I guess. That's all we want. And we have public class. Oh yeah. Let's start with inverse square skin method. We have a weight that's not what we want here. Do we want... We don't have any... No, this one is going to be simple without any additional data. Almost. Something like this. And then we do public class. Yes. Math X. Exponent. Yeah, I think we wanna... We're gonna change this one to this. I think this should be okay. Probably gonna pull this into its own file eventually. But okay, so the idea then is that we actually send in a skin method here in method. Oh no. And we send in it, yeah, we send it in here. Yes. And then we don't care about weight scale. Okay, I think this is pretty good. And finally, after this one, I'm gonna do this. Root bones, yes. Okay, I get it, I get it, I get it. Let's keep it like this here, but I want to try one thing later on. Try setting root bone should be the parent transform. Okay. What more do we have? Mesh skinner test. Okay, so now we have covered we do this, not this nor this yet. And then we have a joint here. Okay. So what I'm thinking about creating now is, so the current quote-unquote soft body solution we run with is just it's pretty simplified, just bones and configurable joints set up in a nice way. So I'm thinking of creating a we're gonna create a folder here, soft body system, maybe. And we're going to create a static method that is soft body generator, and it's going to take a list of bones. I think it's bones we want to work with. And then I guess we're going to make it into a nah, it should be a static method, I think. That takes this, this, and these as arguments and returns. No, it just adds configurable joint, sphere, collide, and rigid body to the bones it gets as input. I think that's it. And for now, we're not going to send in a explicit parent. We're just actually going to use the bone parents as the connected rigid body. Yeah. Okay, let's Unity do its thing first. Yeah. Probably want primitives eventually as well. Okay, let's see, what do we have? No. Something like that. Soft body part. Let's skip that now. We just add a rigid body and we add mass, so everything else is the default setup. I guess we're gonna roll with that one for now as well. But okay, the way I want to structure this time around is generate soft body bone. And I actually just want to send in one bone, I think, because we're gonna send in. We were okay, fuck it. Let's do it like this. Float mass, float radius, float ring, float damper, float bounciness. That's what we want. Maybe it will look a little bit nicer if we do it like this. Which bone? So I think we can skip most of this, and I want to rename this one bone rigid body. Like this. So then we have the rigid body, and then we want to do collider as well. I'm just going to copy this one. This bone game object. Sphere collider radius 0.2. Let's change this one to radius. Yes, and then finally this one, but I think we can clean it up a bit. Shouldn't we be able to do... Oops. Body. Oh, connected body. Never mind. Here we want to do bone game object dot get component rigid body. So we probably want to cache this one as parent rigid body. And this is a little bit fuck. What if yeah, every bone is probably gonna have its separate parent, or there might exist a scenario where that is true. So I think we're gonna have to do this for now. Vector up, vector right, and here I wonder if we can just or is this actually, that might not be better at all. But I wonder about this one. So this one is the same. I wonder about this one. Maybe we might do it. Set up rigid body. But do we need a rigid body? No, we don't. Set up rigid body. Private static void setup glider. But then okay, never mind. Let's skip this try for a bit cleaner method. But you know what? We want to take these and put them here at least. And I want to change the name to this one to setup. Generate soft body setup. A list of bones, some properties. And after this call, the bones should have soft body properties to them. I think that's a good way to do it. Okay, so next up, I want to rewrite this test here using these new methods instead. So what do we have? Create bones, skin, mesh. So I guess we just want to do this instead. And then we do list bone. Generator dot Skin mesh. Ooh, that's something I overlooked, isn't it? We take a list of bones here. We have a nice method here where we actually don't output the bones. We can send in the bones, but we can also send in just vertices. Okay, I guess it depends on what we want to do. But so let's do bones. Bone. Create bones. Parent should be game object, I think. And the bones should be points mesh vertices. And then we skip this one and this one. And then we do armature generator dot skin mesh SMR bones, and then we have a skin method as well we have to create. Exponential weight exponent, yeah, skin method. And then finally we do soft body generator, generate soft body setup bones mass. Didn't we have this one? Okay, I just did it like this. 1000, 10, 5, 0.2. And that should be it. I guess. Yeah, let's try it. Oh yeah, mesh skinner. You know what? Let's just do this. Oh no, we have a serialization issue. No. Okay. Add soft body, okay. Okay, good. So let's see if this test still works. So we're talking about this. No, not this one. This one. Let's see if it's still produces. Yeah, it looks like it. I guess it's okay. Okay, nice. So now we can hopefully use these methods in our add soft body runtime node eventually. Although, I wonder if I fucked up. No, probably not. No. Hope. Add soft body editor node. Game object. Yeah, we want a game object output as well. Yeah, I probably want to keep it this far back. The problem, however, is that I want this one vertex list. And it's not pretty. And then we're gonna add a lot of randomization here. Load. Joint mass 5. Let's go between 1 and 10. For radius, this one might be, what did we have? 0.2 if I recall correctly. So let's do between 0.1 and 0.4. And we have spring, which is 1,000, so let's go 500 and 1,500. And we have damper, which was 10, I think. Gonna be highly dependent on the spring, actually. Or I think we want it to depend on the spring in the final solution. And then bounciness, I don't even know. I think we just put 1. So let's do 0.5, 1.5. Okay, that should be the setup here. So add collider. Fuck, I don't know if we want to have this collider. Yeah, that might screw things up, actually. Let's try with it first. I'm just gonna have to remember that if it doesn't work, if something is weird, it's probably because of that collider. But then we add a rigid body, and then we add soft body. Yeah. Oh yeah, did I change set mesh here? We need to add an option here. Maybe I have it in my to-do. Oh no, is this just the visuals? That's the wrong task. 1 sec. What is it called? Extend the creature generation graph system. There we go. Generate rigid body, generate configurable joint. Yeah. So this is something we need to fix. So when we do set mesh here, what actually happens is set mesh runtime node. We check if we have a skin mesh renderer. If we don't, or okay, we have used skin. How tired am I? But we have the option here already. But we didn't have the task, did we? We did. I'm sorry about that. Okay, great. Must have added it like at the end of last week's stream. I have no recollection of this one. But okay, great. So the idea is, like, I don't know exactly how I want to handle if we try to add a soft body to something that has a mesh filter and mesh renderer. I don't know if I want to invoke an error, ignore it, or replace it. I don't know. I think we're going to begin with just failing the entire creature generation. With maybe a specific debug message. I don't know. But okay, let's see if we can implement the runtime version of this one. I think we have set soft body runtime node. Yeah, we started. We have all of this. That's great. And then thanks to our new armature and soft body, we should be able to generate this quite easily, I think. Private. Do I want to send in a list of vertices? Or do we want to try something like this? But if we do it like that, we might as well just have it public, honestly. Oh. Bones, then skin mesh, then generate. Yeah, of course. Armature. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do... We do this, but we also do... And then we want the skin method as well. I wonder if we can do it like this. It would be very nice if we could. Let's jump to mesh. No, not mesh skinner, but armature generator. Do serialize reference, or what is it called? Where do we use it? We use it in animate. Let's see if this works. I'm a little bit skeptical. Ah, not here, not here. So maybe we want to do this one as serializable. Serializable. Yo, what's up, Diggy? Just stopped by to say what's up. I have to get ready for work. Appreciate it, and have a good day. Yeah, I'm feeling better and better every day, but still a little bit sick. Thank you. What I would like to do here is, it would be extremely cool if we could select in the graph, we could select the skin method, and depending on what we select, we get more or less options, you know. Let's see. Diggy getting sick sucks. Yeah, indeed it does. Indeed it does. So, add soft body editor node. I want to try undefine options. It would be insane if we could do given Unity's history with abstract classes and interfaces and such. This is probably shot in the dark. But we'll try. Because what I would like to be able to do is in method. It would be so fucking cool. Oh, I thought I deleted this one. But then we opened it up again and recreated it. Yeah, we get something like this, so it's probably not doable. What could we do instead? Makes me wonder. Exponential skin method. Okay. Ah, now I opened this one up again. Come on. 1 sec though, I thought that this would be possible. Exponential skin method with display name with default value. Why isn't this possible? Hmm. I thought I had used stuff like this previously, but maybe not. Okay, I guess this is an easy fix by doing this. Remove these. Oh, I guess. Like, what I'm not a fan of is that, like, this one has a float value. This one doesn't. So when we create this, when we select exponential skin method, I would like for that option or that variable to show up, and we can set it. And if we select inverse square skin method, nothing should happen, or we should hide it if it was previously visible. Yo, what's up, Skafer? Because I mean, we could also just always go with a solution where we have some options and then we have a enum that decides it, but I don't like it. Like, do something like this. But now it's not as nice anymore. And then in softbody editor node, we do add option skin method type. Then we have Yo, what's up, Jax? How you doing? How you doing? Where do we have these now? Since we're using the namespace directly, shouldn't we be able to do... Well, that won't work. Yeah, maybe we want to put these... Let's just put it here. It's not pretty, but let's do this. So I guess we can do something like this as well, which means that like the parameter will always be visible and settable. Sometimes we will use it, sometimes we won't use it. I mean, it's unclean. Best, like, if we switch this one, I would like this one to appear or disappear. Maybe that's possible in the latest Unity update, I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out. Maybe. Okay, but that's pretty cool. It will work for now. So in add soft body runtime node in the constructor, we now actually want to send something in here. We want to send in iSkin method. And I guess we want to have, oh, what is it called? Serialize. Serialize reference abstract selectable. Abstract selectable we probably don't need, but serialize reference, yes. Now we have skin mode, and then we set it, and that's about it. So in add soft body editor node, we're gonna have to read a lot of values here. We're gonna have to read, actually we don't need to read, we just need to read these two, I think. Let's see. Cashless, yes. Skin method type. We're gonna wait with this one until we need it. Yeah, let's just do it like this. Scafer, have you used any graphical profiler in Unity or external one? I've used the frame debugger and the render graph viewer. Haven't tried rendering debugger yet. But frame debugger has been, holy shit, it's so good, I think. Showing every separate stage and the result and what is used and resources. It's beautiful. As for the question what features you usually want to have in the graphics profiler, I can't answer that without thinking about it for a good while. You definitely want to have this stuff as well. How many triangles and batches and draw calls and stuff like that. Okay, add soft body runtime node. Here we fetch all of the resources. You know what? Oh, yeah. Yep. Never mind, this is good. And then we want to skin the mesh with skin method here. And that's it. A pretty short node now when we put all of the logic inside of these classes. Okay, I think we can try this one. Let me just double check one thing so my computer doesn't crash. I'm a little bit scared about This one here. Okay, 4 and 2. Yeah, we're probably not gonna get too many bones, so we should be able to test this. So the idea is that we generate a low resolution mesh similar to this one, and then we take the vertex list of it. We actually take the mesh and generate a collider, but then we take the vertex list and send it to add soft body editor node, where we randomize a lot of values like joint mass, radius, spring damper, bounciness, and let's see if it crashes. Worst case scenario, thank you for watching. Okay, we have something like this instead. I guess that's on the good side. Escaper, I see. There's a bit more complex than a profiler that shows you frame time for the ending graphics methods. That's what's currently implemented in Godot, and I'm thinking of extending it. For now, I've one PR to make the call tree that shows CPU, GPU timings more convenient to use. It also has a graph, but you cannot even zoom in and out. That's all because I need to use the visual profile in Godot. Okay, that's pretty cool. So you have like a PR up now for good to the Godot repository. Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had the time to work in Godot, but it feels it's a little bit bare bones if that's all they have, isn't it? Okay, what am I missing? Hope it will be merged in 4.7. Yeah, that would be very cool. We don't have a fail, do we? Okay, let's take a look at this one. This looks okay. Game object for text list float. Oh yeah, do we fail because of this one? Yeah, maybe we do. We probably do. Skin the mesh. Let's see if this one works then. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Set mesh runtime node. Use skin mesh renderer. Actually, let's start with set mesh editor node. And then we send it in here. And if this is true, we try and get it. Then we add it. Scafer, do you have a day job? Yes, I do. Or half-time. Part-time, I think is the correct term. Okay, I'm starting to think that this one doesn't get set accordingly. Initially I thought we weren't utilizing it the correct way, but this looks good to me, I think. And we add it to the game object, should be okay. Yeah, it's this game object. Skin mesh. Escaper, I despise interviews. Fucking hell, me too, man. Thinking about going solo, but it's very fucking hard for me to be my own boss. Yeah, I guess I would say pretty much most of us that has tried it has noticed that it's a very lazy boss. Or maybe a carefree boss is the correct term. Okay, it would be nice if I could get to the bottom of this today. So let's see here. Very procrastinatory boss, yes. Fucking hell, that's a word I won't try a second time to pronounce. You know what? We're gonna do this actually. I want to try and can we skip this one again? Okay, and then we have our blobs here, and they actually have mesh renderers. So we get mesh renderers here, even though We have skinned mesh here. Oh, is it because set material node? Set material node might actually screw it up. Get component skin mesh renderer. No, it shouldn't. If I even checked in Google Translate if it exists. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Oh, here we have it. The same issue once again. Serialize field. When will I learn? Okay, now it should be a-okay. See if everything works, and if we get... It's gonna look a little bit weird. We're gonna have a lot of blobs with skinned mesh renderers. Yeah, but without bones, so... they still render pretty nicely. Okay, yeah, so we need to have bones if we want this one to render accordingly. So let's add this one back. Let's see what happens this time. I reckon this will take quite a lot of time. Okay, so now we're back at the phase where if everything goes to shit, I just want to say thank you for watching. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Now, let's rip it. No errors. That's actually pretty fucking cool. We have a lot of blobs. They are stuck together in what looks to be pretty cool. This one is also generated, but this one isn't stuck. Okay, they are stuck in their own colliders, I guess. But look at this one, we have a few bones. Oh, it actually works, but they are fighting their own collider. Okay, that's pretty cool. So what I mean by that, if we take this one and we look here, we have a box collider, but if we disable it, then I think we can go a little bit more crazy here. Looks like the skinning isn't entirely working. Oh, I know why. Wow, look at this. That's one creature. We have an issue with 3 materials as well. That's not good. This looks a little bit scary, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Spiky. Okay. The first thing we can start with is we skip this one, set collider editor node. We just skip it. And save and play. We still get this. Like, I wonder why are they like, why are they getting stuck together? Is it because they shouldn't be spawning in the same position, but they are maybe... Are they using the same mesh and stuff like that? I think so. Yes, because I think we need to do we? Creature spawner, we should spawn them at different... Are these all the blobs, first of all? Seems like it. But look at this. Definitely need to fix this, but... Yeah, we have a few settings that we still need to work on, but... pretty cool. God damn indeed. Although I wonder why they all spawn same position. And why... Okay, I think it's something with the bone creation. Ah, this one. Okay, I guess I know why this one looks like this. Yeah, way too big bone colliders compared to how small it actually is. Same. Okay, we're gonna have to base that on the actual blob. I don't know what this is. Pretty scary looking, honestly. These, I don't know why we're having fights here. It's something with the skin. Okay, I know what it is. We spawn them in the same position when we generate them. And then they get stuck like that. Okay, it makes sense, I think. Hopefully I can remember it by tomorrow. These are pretty scary looking, honestly. Okay. Okay, but on that note, I'm gonna have to end it. We're gonna wrap this up on Friday. Yeah, it's Tuesday today. I won't be able to stream tomorrow or the day after, and since I didn't stream this Monday, I will do my very, very best to stream on Friday instead. So we will wrap it up on Friday, and hopefully we can start some new tasks on Monday after that. We'll see. But Yeah, join my Discord if you want to know exactly when we start and how we start. Yeah, it's gonna be nice with a Friday stream, I think. But yeah, until Friday, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Appreciate it, and have a great rest of the day. Peace.